Hello everybody and welcome to the Real Housewives Edit. My name is Elle and I am here to talk about the two loves of my life, editing and housewives. On this channel, I talk about how we can watch what the editors do to get more insight into our ladies, our friends, our housewives. This is a bonus episode because I hit 100 subscribers, you guys. I told you guys in one of my previous videos, when I hit 100 subscribers, I would be covering this scene from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the dinner from hell, where Kim Richards confronts Lisa Rinna. So let's get into the dinner from hell, and I just want to thank you guys again for subscribing. And if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. I promise more fun stuff to come.
I didn't really process it, so I'm so terrified of my own children and everyone. You know, if I ever come across too strong about anything, I definitely have a fear of it, and an Achilles heel, and it you know, I'm sorry if I've ever, you know, gotten into your business. I never meant to. I only wanted to.
Where you at?
Okay, so just right off the bat, in that moment right there, Lisa Rinna has been kind of talking about this situation that she had. And while she's telling this story, you can hear the music underneath. Take one more listen to it right here.
I didn't really process it, so.
That music is sort of like a sentimental type music. It's meant to get your audience to feel something a little bit more kind of melancholy as this is going on. They're allowing her to speak this story, obviously to speak her truth, but also they need to set the tone to really show that stark contrast when the actual fight ensues. This is a really common tactic, especially when you're building drama, and especially in The Real Housewives. They do a lot of down, kind of bringing us in, melancholy, sentimental moments, and then they'll do a big funny moment.
That lady could be your mama. You can't do that.
No, she's only 5 years older than me.
For real? Okay.
For the most part with scripted television, you want to kind of keep your tone because people come to the show with wanting a certain tone in mind, and you don't want to break that. You don't want to be too inconsistent. Reality has this special thing where they can be all over the place because it's reality. That's what our lives look like. Lisa's telling this story and you have that music behind her.
I'm sorry if I've ever, you know, gotten into your business. I never meant to.
And then all of a sudden,
Where you at?
the music cuts out. When the music goes out, it kind of gives the illusion of sucking the air out of the room. Record scratch stops the music.
And we've discussed that.
I only meant to help.
Lisa, I have been sober for 3 years. And in 3 years, my friends right here and my family have not ever seen me like that in 3 years.
But I saw you like that.
I said that night I had taken something for pain, and it obviously didn't work for me. And let me finish. And I said that. It didn't react to me. The next day I ended up in the hospital for a week. If any of my friends right here had seen that.
What they're trying to do all the time with editing is you're trying to build. If you've ever been watching a movie and you start to feel that sense of like, oh, I'm getting that itchy finger, I want to go back to the menu and go try to find something else. Usually it's because the scene that you're watching, they didn't do a good job of building. Every scene is supposed to build to the next scene, build to the next moment. It's supposed to keep you involved because things are building. And the way that they build, not only just by what's going on in the story, like what Kim is talking about, but also they're building by showing the reactions of all the other ladies at the table, sort of looking at each other. Tension is building, you know, people are getting quiet. Lisa's trying to say something, she's getting cut off. So all of this is sort of building tension. It's going to be very hard for us to click away. Now, all Bravo wants is for us to not click away. If you're staying and watching the entire thing and tuning in next week, which is why we get a lot of like to be continued, they can sell ad space for a higher premium. Everyone's happy. Not only are they building by cutting to all the other wives, but they also have some music going on in here that's sort of building. It's got a little bit of energy. It almost has a suspenseful feel to it. Just listen to it.
Obviously didn't work for me. And let me finish. And I said that. It didn't react to me. The next day I ended up in the hospital for a week.
They're starting to already give it some movement with the music.
And that more than once in 3 years, my friends, my sister would have come to me and they would have been concerned. You have gone around to everybody and talk to them.
How do you know I've gone around to everyone?
And you too.
Don't point your finger at me, Kim.
And you too.
Think of music, I started almost like a train, right? Chicka, 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 chicka. She's kind of doing this train motion as she's talking. She's saying this and this and this, and they're saying this, and you did this, and you too, da da da. And then at the end, it's almost like she made her point. Our first building block was Lisa Rinna kind of talking about this sentimental thing that's going on with her. We cut that block off. Now we're on to a new block. We're on this next block where Kim is starting to accuse people. She's starting to say, you've done this, my sister would never do this, my friends have been around for this, I'm explaining myself. There's a train in motion, right? And then dun, like at the end of the train in motion. So now we're on the second block. So us as an audience are sort of leaning in like, this is a big moment to build on. They've already put the music in there, right? So now you gotta build on top of this to make this scene great. How are they gonna do it?
Asking where I've gone to treatment. Do I have a sponsor?
Well, we've asked you.
You asked me if I was okay, and I said I am
if you were in
fine.
meetings.
And I told you on the plane,
Kim,
I am fine.
Now here's the argumentative music. I've heard this in other episodes before. I'm sure you guys have too. So you had that music, right? That train kind of going as Kim's going hard on Lisa and even Eileen. And now you have the music where they're kind of going back and forth. It's less of that train pushing forward and it's more of a slow
Is okay, and I said I am
if you were in
fine.
meetings.
Let's see if they keep arguing while this music is going on.
I care about you.
I'm concerned about you. First of all, let's not talk about. Excuse me. I'm concerned about you at your situation at home. You want to bring.
Okay, so that music, it was going back and forth. It's got that argumentative tone. She does say,
I'm concerned about you.
and then they pull the sound out from the scene so no one else is talking.
You want to bring out my stuff? Let's talk
And
about.
the music has crescendoed to a high point. We as an audience are like, huh? Now we're really leaning in. The music is loud. It's at a crescendo. Everyone's looking around at each other, talk about building. So now we've had these 3 building blocks. Let's see what comes next.
Excuse me, I'm not talking to you.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Excuse me. Shame on
talked
you.
about it.
Shame on I'm not talking to you.
And I'm talking
Shut
to
your
you.
f***ing mouth. I've had enough of you, you beast.
Beast?
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare me?
You came into my home.
And I apologized. And in 3 years.
Actually, you didn't.
I don't like you. I don't
Guess
like
what?
you.
I don't particularly like you either.
Good.
I can't find one damn thing to like about you right now in the moment.
Good. I've never found one thing to like about you. I did.
This music right here feels like battle music. This could be music behind a war scene.
I don't like you. I don't
Guess
like
what?
you.
I don't particularly like you either.
Good.
I can't find one damn thing to like about you right now in the moment.
Good.
Do we feel like the building blocks are being built on each other? I personally do. I'm still leaning in. I'm still wanting to know what's going to happen next. They haven't cut the cord on the scene where I feel like, okay, this is a little bit flat. I'm going to change the channel.
From your hair to your face to your attitude.
I don't know where this hatred is coming from. It's pure evil.
What is wrong with you? Kyle, shush up. You should have said
Do you hear the like,
right from the beginning. In 3 years, I have been okay. I talked to him on the plane, and you're like this. What the f*** is that?
Act like this, Kim.
You want me to defend you even though you're acting like that? I'm not just because
okay. And so now when she's talking to her sister, now the stakes are really high. Finally, she turns to Kyle and she's like, oh, now I'm going to get you. And you can feel it. As a side note, you guys, how calm does Kim seem in this? I would have been crying like under the table by now. So she starts to go for Kyle and you can hear they kind of do this loud, like high-pitched.
you want me to defend you even though you're acting like that.
We all know that it gets even worse than this, but just as an audience, we're still leaning in and this music is helping.
I've never needed you to defend me because you've never had.
Kim, yes, I have. She does defend you, Kim. She does defend you 1,000%.
She defends me more than you do. Kathy would not ever act like this.
And then after she says something huge, you know, Brandy defends me more than you do. Slam against her sister, and they of course use the opportunity and they do a sound effect as a slam as well.
You have been doing this to me for years.
It's not okay to talk to your sister
You don't
or anyone like
understand
that.
You don't understand the relationship.
No,
with
I
my
don't,
sister.
but it's not okay to talk to anyone like that, Kim. It's just not okay. Your behavior's not okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's not okay.
Why don't you have a piece of bread and maybe you'll calm down a little?
Shame on you. You're disgusting, Kim.
Please. Can I interfere 1 second? I understand your sensitivity because you've worked really hard for 3 years.
Okay, so now we've kind of like hit this, there's a bit of a ceiling, right? We've all seen the ceiling, like the tension needs to be broken.
Can I interfere 1 second? I understand your sensitivity because you've worked really hard for 3 years.
The music starts to calm down. We as an audience, maybe the tension is broken a little bit for us. And this is actually a really good tactic to do to kind of build tension again. So, right, they've built, and then they're kind of bringing it down. They're bringing it down. They don't want us to bring down the tension. They need to bring it down and release us from it a little bit. And then there's only one way to go from there, right? Back up. So let's see how they do.
When I talked to her, she said, Yolanda, I've lost 2 brother-in-laws. My husband has only been sober for 3 years.
Oh,
Wait, excuse me? Did you just say let's talk about the husband?
Let's not talk about what you don't want out.
Right? So, okay, so the tension was broken. And then Kim comes in and says the famous line
For 3 years.
under her breath. And then what happens with the music?
Talk about the husband?
Let's not talk about what you don't want out.
Suspense, we're back, tension. Let's get ready to build again.
You know what?
You're
Let me
a
tell you
scary,
something.
vicious human being.
Don't touch
Just
my
saying.
husband ever.
Just saying.
Don't you
ever. You don't want out for everybody to know. You better watch what you talk.
Okay, we're back to our battle music, right? So they took a little break. Sometimes when there's no music at all, it's like the equivalent of having the audience hold their breath. So taking that music out, we're like, and then as soon as the music comes in, it's telling us how to feel.
You know what?
You're
Let me
a
tell you
scary,
something. Don't you
vicious
ever
human being.
don't touch
Just
my
saying.
husband.
Comes back in with that battle music, and Lisa starts putting her hands in Kim's face.
Saying.
Don't you
ever. You don't want out for everybody to know.
Wow, we have hit something here.
Better watch what you talk about me, or everybody will know.
never
Everybody
go
will
near
know.
my husband.
Everybody will know.
You understand that?
Everybody
Never
will
go
know.
after my
Everybody
husband.
will know what you don't want.
Okay, so there the music went. We got our crescendo again, and we built. Yolanda brought the energy down, and then we built real fast to the end. I would die to be able to show you guys what it would be like to watch that scene without any music or sound effects. I'm sure it was intense on set, like at that time, but the music and sound effects just make it so much better. This is why I love editing. It's not just to manipulate our audience and just to make them feel something that they don't feel. It's to increase their enjoyment, and that's really what happened in this scene, to make it so we keep watching and so people like me make YouTube channels about it. Anyway, thank you so much. If you are a subscriber already and you got us to 100 subscribers, I'm so grateful for you guys, and I love doing this stuff, so I hope we can continue doing it together. Until next time.
For 3 years.